Congratulations to Keldon Johnson. I love the story of Keldon Johnson as we have like my hair making me look like a Pinocchio. But I want to say that this is a guy that, if you have followed the story, what he was with the last iteration of the Greg Popovich trying to compete, the LaMarcus Aldridge, DeJounte Murray. Then he was in the transition era. So it's really cool to see how Keldon Johnson went from being a 20 point per game scorer at what? His fourth season in the league, which was 4 years ago almost. He was this 22 point per game scorer for them and had been a 17 point per game scorer. And it was just really cool to see how he kind of was able to play so many different roles, as he was seen as someone who's going to come in and be maybe a part of the rotation on an older team, and then he was like the vet on a rebuilding, or really a play-in team, and then a rebuilding team. And I think that's just one of the coolest things about all of this, is just how far he's come from what he was in the beginning of his career to where we are now. Jaime Jaquez is someone that I thought really probably, depending on how the Heat ended the season, and if they didn't get like super, maybe like having a volatile season, the Heat would have been maybe a bit closer. But look, I think Spurs fans are ecstatic, rightfully so. Keldon joins Manu Ginóbili. Para los que no saben, mi familia es de Argentina y yo puedo hablar el castellano, y toda mi vida me encantó a mirar Ginóbili, y toda mi familia siempre cuando estamos hablando, siempre estamos hablando de Ginóbili y todos los otros. But either way, having Keldon Johnson join Ginóbili as being the embodiment of the Spur culture off the bench, and for a guy who was the team's leading scorer during the lean rebuilding years, to completely buying into a bench role behind Victor Wembanyama, Devin Vassell, De'Aaron Fox, Steph Castle, and all other guys, shows ultimate selfishness. I think this just shows that the Spurs way is alive and well. And for you analytical nerds, okay, for years, the Six Man of the Year award has just been given to usually the best offensive producing player in or off the bench. And yes, Keldon was great at scoring. He led all reserves with 6.4 win shares. Yes, he was a great bucket getter. Second in bench points with 1,081. Grabbing 444 rebounds off the pine. Shows how much he impact wins in the margins. And voters actually looked, like, I feel like, at the total impact than just the raw stats, as Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jaime Jaquez both played well. And first off, I think Heat Twitter is going to look at Jaquez, who took a huge leap in his third year, finishing second in voting, as a huge accomplishment. And Miami fans will look at what he was able to do as being this paint penetrator and being able to carry heavy loads of offensive creation for a Heat team. And Tim Hardaway Jr. had a renaissance, finishing third. I just think of what he did right there was more because of, it was great. I don't want to take anything from it, but I think the way you looked at it was Tim Hardaway Jr. definitely benefited from the system, and Keldon Johnson and Jaime were guys who had taken a leap. But either way, I think these are all just guys who played unselfish roles and were ready when their team called on them to come off the bench. And it's incredibly rare for someone to go from a 20 point per game starter at one point in his career to accept the demotion of a bench role without requesting a trade or causing locker room drama, and embracing the role, being a leader, anchoring the second unit, doing it at an incredibly efficient rate. And I think that's like one of the most exciting things about how this team was put together. And to me, when we look at I want to go back to that 2019-20 season, which would have been Mr. Keldon Johnson's rookie year, who Keldon Johnson was drafted after Luka Šamanić. Is that crazy? And that team he was on was LaMarcus Aldridge, Marco Bellinelli. We had DeMar DeRozan, Drew Eubanks on a two-way, Bryn Forbes. Wow. Wasn't it? Who was that? The porn star. Oh my God. Rudy Gay, Keldon Johnson, Trey Lyles, Chemsy Metu, Patty Mills, DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, Luka Šamanić, Lonnie Walker, Derek White, Tyler Zeller. I know they went 32 and 39, but that team, they had aspirations to be, competitive. And then the following year, like LaMarcus moved on. But man, really cool to see that whole full circle. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. This was cool.